No, absolutely not. I mean, we were talking in our gym just yesterday and today, but about how talented their players are and how they play so many of them. So they have good depth, and we weren't so sure. Obviously, we haven't seen them, and we have seen Santa Clara and Portland, but we were us two, and those two were picked in the top four. And I really did not think that we were going to put this kind of number up today, but our team we never really deviated from the game plan. I mean, defensively, we were in help side when we need to be in help side, and we were towards the basketball when we need to be towards the basketball, and we were off the players that we need to be off. And offensively, maybe in the last 3 minutes when I think we were trying to get to 20. I don't know what they were doing. We forced a couple shots, but until that point, I don't think we had a single really forced shot that we took. And we shared the ball well, and both sides of the ball, I think that the game plan and just how we play were really well executed, and it was very apparent what our team is about, or what we're supposed to be about, in almost every possession, offensively or defensively. So.
Would you classify this as your best game this year on the total package?
I mean, we played really well against Stanford. We didn't deviate from the game plan there either, but probably. I mean, they're starting, and they were down a starter, Ennis started a lot last year, but they didn't have, Celia Holmberg wasn't with them, and she's included in this, but they all averaged double digits, and none of them scored in double digits today. So defensively, our 26% on a quality, talented team like that is really good defensive field goal percentage, and obviously we shot the ball well, so pretty darn close it was kind of a treat for those people who made it out today, I think. It's fun. It's fun. Hopefully it feels fun to you guys. It's fun for us. I know I don't get to jump around and smile as much as they do because I'm always worried about the next play. But that's what fun looks like to Coach Lisa. But, yeah, it was spread around. Claire, Bree, who else made them? Brenna, all the starters. Vonnie makes one. That play was for her to shoot it or drive it. And of course, she chose to shoot that one, and I think that was just a fun way to end that quarter or whatever it was. At the end of a quarter, I think, right? Yeah, or half, yeah. So I love when they're having fun. And sometimes it gets to be a drag, honestly, and it gets to be right now, this time of year, it starts to be a drag for people. We're trying to avoid the February blues this year with a lot of things that we're working on inside our locker room and inside our gym and our practices. We're trying not to get overly frustrated with the rankings and some of those things. And we're just trying. Sometimes if you let it, that stuff weighs you down. And our team is not going to let that happen. Linny, the Chongs, both of them. But Linny has fun out there. I mean, she's blowing kisses and shooting arrows, and she's been doing that for the last 5 years here. And I am fine with it as long as she gets back on defense. Yeah, it's only when there's a transition layup that happens when we could have been back because she's our safety usually. But that's fun. And so we're trying to, it's good for them to remember. And it's not just our team, it's everybody in the country around this time of year. You've seen most teams, we've seen everybody but Pepperdine now, and you start to get in that, but you're not at the end. And so it starts to get to just be long. And if we can have fun like that, then it doesn't feel long at all.
What is it about this team that gets out to such hot starts? I think it's now 7 straight conference games. You guys have a double-digit lead at halftime. I mean, it seems like every game you guys start on a run. What goes into that?
Well, we focus on it. I mean, we're trying to really come out with great pace. I think we have enough people who can make shots that if we have good pace, then likely the ball's going to go to them. And we have unselfish people, so the ball's not going to stick. So I think part of it is when we come out with that kind of pace, at Rice we came out like that. I think we went on a huge 19-0 or something like that run against Rice. And if we have pace, then they're not going to ball hog it. They're going to be capable of making the shot, and they're going to be willing to move it to the open person. And so it's just very difficult. Again, I pity other teams because the game plan is tough, I'm sure. And, we've been in that situation before, and I know we'll be in that again where you feel like, I don't know, most teams we play, there's not a matchup advantage. And so if we can come out with that pace and not do it to ourselves and slow ourselves down, then we're likely to start well like that.
30 straight wins in the kennel, what does that mean for you?
So that's a lot of games. It's a lot of people here to support us. You always want to protect home court when you can, and it works out sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. But it's unique. It's hard. I think that they don't know that. Our fans don't know that they bring energy to the other teams too. It's fun. It's fun for everybody. But for us to come out on the winning side of it is good. It means that we've put in a lot of good work and that we have a good fit in our community and we're an important part of it. And I'm happy to be a part of that.
Lisa, I think it was 12-0 run to open up.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know from the tip, like, okay, this is our day?
Well, a little bit. Bradley's a good friend of mine, and obviously Amanda Brown is on their staff, and I like their whole staff. But those guys I've known for a very long time, and I really admire them. I think they're good at their job. I was kind of waiting to see when Bradley was going to call that timeout, and then we kept making shots. But I thought the message at that time was that you guys, there's going to be a wave coming. They're not going to just don't think that you start 12-0 and then they decide not to play anymore, that they were going to continue on. And they did. But I was not thinking at that time it was going to be for sure our day, or not letting myself think that maybe, because I don't want to get too excited about, we try to stay as steady as we can, right? Not to get too high or not to get too low. And obviously there are times when both happen. But at that point, I think it was a little early to decide that it was going to be our night. I didn't expect necessarily this. I do know that my son who keeps score is really happy, and my son who wasn't here is going to be really unhappy. So that's about what I was thinking at that time.
Grace, I might need you to back me up on this, but I believe this ties the most points in your era as head coach, and I think also the most three-pointers made.
Most three-pointers was, I think, a school record. Yep. So, that one we got. And Lenny really wanted to get to, I think 18 was the record, and then she made another one, right? And so I think she was trying to get us to 20, 23, 24, all on her own. But, it's a lot of points. I'm a defensive coach, so I don't really know what to do with this team right now. We're trying to work on our defense, but they make it fun to coach offense, too.
They've obviously had a little bit of a rough go so far. Does the experience that you have in that locker room help you, give you confidence that this isn't going to be complacent on next week?
Yeah, the way our season has gone this year, there's been little things here and there that have helped us to not be complacent. Like today, nobody's mentioned that Mount rolled her ankle, and so we did all that without Mount. And she's a candidate for Sixth Player of the Year. She's our first forward off the bench. She's been playing. She came off 2 double-doubles last weekend, and so I think there's different things and different challenges that have come to where we haven't necessarily been complacent. I think there's definitely part of the idea that we're playing a team for the first time. So we've seen them on film, and we haven't experienced them ourselves. And on paper, we're better, but you don't play the games on paper. You know what I mean? You play the games in person. And I think always we rely on the veterans to make sure that we don't overlook or dismiss. Like, we would never do that. I think at halftime I said honor, but just like I think the best way for us to, respect ourselves is to respect also our opponents and show up every time ready to play that particular team on that particular day.
What does it mean to be getting this kind of production from Bree, coming back and coming off the bench for you, and she just seems to be getting better every game?
Yeah, she's really good. And I know that there was a lot that happened, a lot of pomp and circumstance about her before she got here. And then she's been injured so much that I know that not everybody here has seen it. But we saw it. We've seen it in practice when she's been healthy in those stretches prior to being able to play in games. We've seen it. She had some big games her early career. Actually, ironically, I'm pretty sure she had 5 threes against them her freshman year. And so then she comes out and plays really well again today. But we saw it in Europe. And so for her sake, she's just like the rest of them. I think building confidence is really important for her. And she's a multi-positional player for us. She can play the point guard. She can play the wing. And so I'm just happy for her to have the success after what she's endured as an athlete. A little bit of a scare today. She rolled her ankle. Everybody was wondering and worried. But, it was, yeah. But I love it for her. I'm happy for her. And she puts in a lot of time. And, it doesn't matter how much time you do or don't put in or what kind of person you are or not. That's a tough road to have. And so I'm just happy for her to hopefully be on the other side of it.
Your most dominant WCC win, yet when you look back, 2 of the last 3 weeks you've dropped in the AP poll. What gives?
I don't know. Can you start voting?
If I had a vote,
Yeah, well, find a way. Can't you guys all pool together to at least get us one vote in the right direction? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, no, it doesn't. And so I talked to SWX about that earlier today, and I think that it's just crazy that right now they do the voting based on the competition that you're playing, but nobody's talking about the competition you're playing in November when you're beating tough teams and the other teams are playing garbage teams or low RPI teams or low net teams, or comparatively the opponents are not the caliber. And so that's the only thing that's frustrating to me. And I'm making sure my team knows that we're focused on 1% better every day, and we're focused on a lot of things. And I think, again, with your question about the veterans, there's enough of them that that know that the quality of the opponent is not in our control once you get to the conference. And so we do what we do. We schedule quality opponents in the non-conference. And even though it's irritating that we keep dropping, that's not our mission. Our mission is to be the best version of us that we can be. And our mission is to continue to improve every day until we get to the end and finish this thing out just being better on the last day than we were the day before. So.
Well, there's certainly a reason why you intensified your non-conference was to get yourself in a better position.
And it was mostly a lot of it for the net, not necessarily for these rankings that are out there. You know what I mean? So the voters, I don't know if they don't maybe, there's no requirement for voters to watch. And some of them, I don't know how many are in the Northwest. I don't know how many have seen us live. You know what I mean? So there's no requirement for those guys. But I know that when you're on the NCAA tournament committee, you do have to watch the games. And the net is something that is showing that we're a very quality team. And so we're trying to just focus on, really not even that, but if you were going to focus on something, it'd be those things and not even the rankings and the AP and the coaches poll. So.
Kind of building off that, Lisa, does that help almost put a chip on the shoulder? Like, you can go on this winning streak here, but it can keep the team angry, I suppose.
I think a little bit. I think they feel that some. They're not whining and complaining about it because we've moved past that. I think last year or 2 years ago that might have been the mentality, but our team doesn't see it like that right now. They're kind of smarter than that, smarter than to worry too much about that. But that's kind of what Gonzaga was built on, was that little chip on our shoulder. And we're learning how to, obviously we've learned how to do it a little bit better in conference, but as we get into postseason and then non-conference, we have to learn how to reestablish that, because we're not really a underdog in most of those situations anymore. And so if you can create that, if that motivates them, then I'm okay with that. But I'm not trying to. I would have when I was a younger coach, but I'm not trying to rile them up or mind game them anymore. I tell them the truth. I tell them all the time, I'm going to tell you the truth. I didn't think we were going to do that. And, they understand what that means. So I'm going to tell you the truth. I think we should be ranked higher, but we're not. But I'm also going to tell you the truth that I don't really care. So let's practice today. And so that's what they're usually going to get from me.
Brenna, did you see this sort of team effort coming today?
I mean, honestly, I don't think our team preps pretty well. I don't think we were expecting it to be like this, because Pacific is a good team in our league, and they've won some pretty good games. And they have, they got Liz Smith back, and they're a very good team. I think we might just call one a bad day, but our team, when the shots are going in, they're going in for this team, and it was just super fun to play with these guys. They make it so fun, and everyone was hitting shots. Even Vaughn was hitting shots. So it was just a fun win.
You're okay? Is that just an ankle? Or?
Yeah, I just rolled my ankle a bit. All good.
Well, what's your effort today?
Yeah.
That had to feel good.
Yeah, it did. It's good to get some confidence going. I mean, shots were falling today, so it was fun. But, hopefully I can just stay consistent now. So.
Does this help with that, knowing, being able to go out there and score, help with the consistency feeling and knowing, that you're fully back, or however you want to phrase it?
Every team's different, but we got a lot of open shots tonight, which helped. But hopefully, this confidence builder, hopefully. So.
This marks 30 straight wins in the calendar for you guys. Brad, what does that mean to you, and for you to chip into?
Did I know that? That's cool. I think that's just, we have just such a fun fan base, and I think it people, try to make excuses and say the fans don't matter, but we have such a great fan base, and I still get goosebumps when those last 5 minutes are on, the songs are going, and the fans are jumping, and I just think it's so cool, and it adds a lot, and it is a huge home court advantage, and it's awesome to have that awesome fan base.
Bree, team record 3 is 19. What's it like when everybody's seemingly hitting one and contributing that way? What's it like on the bench and out there on the floor?
I keep saying this, they're just so fun. Like, it's just a fun group, and some teams, like Bree said, every team's different, but like our team, this group is really fun, and they make everything better, and just to have everyone on our team hitting threes and just making it a win, a team win in that way, and just be able to celebrate with my friends is awesome.
I I asked Lisa this. You guys dominate another WCC team, but 2 of the last 3 weeks you've dropped in the AP ranking. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, honestly, we don't really care about AP. It's really just for media and fans, and doesn't really matter postseason. So we don't really care. I mean, if they keep dropping us, they can take us out of the top 25. I really don't care. But our net keeps going up, and that's what matters. And you know, we keep building our resume, and that's the important thing.
Is that talked about at all in the locker room though? Even if
It's kind of a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's just, but like, it really is like so meaningless to your actual postseason that we don't. I mean, we could go up 5 spots or go down 6 spots, and it wouldn't really change anything. So.
you guys went on that big run at the very start of the game. I think it's 12-0 to start. 15-0. Did you just know at that point, like, okay, today's our day? Was it one of those situations?
I don't know about that. I mean, it was fun. I mean, I think we keep saying fun's the word of the day. It was. We had things going, but a lot of pretty much teams can come back from that.
Yeah.
And Pacific is one of those teams that won't fold, and they didn't fold the whole game. They just kept pushing through. But you can get up a big lead, and we've done this before, and relaxed. And I think I'm really proud of these guys for not relaxing and just keep stepping on the gas. Anyone else?
What is it about this team that keeps you guys from relaxing and not getting complacent here, especially for a game like this, or even let's say for next week too against Pepperdine?
We really focus like on in practice, like just practicing for the competition we're going to see later on. I mean, it's hard when we're playing these teams and we're winning. I mean, we're doing very well, and we're just showing up every time. So we just got to continue showing up for the postseason too, and it's going to be really important to just prepare for that. Like, that's the main goal at the end of the day. So.
You guys know about a little bit of history today. Most 3-pointers made, and I think it tied for most points in the 48 era.
Tied? Oh,
It's a bummer.
missed the free throw.
One more free throw.
Thank God for that Banks free throw from Nestor.
Yeah.
Just clutch like that.
Ah,
Just clutch like that.
Yeah, it's a good shot.
Kind of on the back of that though, like this is a team that has a goal in mind of making history. You guys are making history in the game. I know you want to make it for the season. Are you guys able to think about that at all, or is that something you'll look back when your careers are done, hopefully a long time from now?
I mean, Eliza said it in the locker room after the game. She just said, like, it's so much fun making history with this team. And it is, like, special group. Hopefully we'll just keep pushing through and keep getting better every single day. That's our main focus, is just getting better every single day. Like, against our practice guys even. Just all those little things are going to add up in the end. So.